everyone. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Finding Your Purpose. Today, it's all about Spotlight. We're going to be talking about a spotlight of purpose-driven entrepreneurs. And today, we have Angela Capinera of Your Mind in Bloom, and she is going to be talking about her business and how finding her purpose helped her be successful in her business. So Angela, please introduce yourself, and I'm getting it. Please do talk, Angela. You talk. That's all right. We can edit this out. I'll edit that out. Sorry. That was an intro, believe it or not.
All right. So thank you, Jane. Nice meeting you. My name is Angela Capinera. I'm the owner of Your Mind in Bloom, LLC. As far as finding my purpose, began basically in college. They needed peer tutors for other students, and a professor of mine recommended me. And I continued doing it through college and afterwards, basically as a contractor, independent contractor. And then about 11, 12 years ago, I finally said I need an LLC. Because again, I was going through other people and getting frustrated again, because you have to constantly remind them, hello, I'm here. So I said, it's time for me to get an LLC, and especially what I do working with people, it was time.
Right.
So that's how Your Mind in Bloom was born.
Wow. Yeah, and I never even thought of that as you know, continuing on as a business. So that's great. So what do you do now then for people in your business? You were mentioning that you mentor quite a few people and different varieties of people who are struggling.
Yes,
what are they struggling with?
So I've kind of narrowed it down. I see people who are in transformation and transition, and people who are struggling. So again, my pitch is I help people with resumes, cover letters. I do academic tutoring for all ages, all subjects, children, teens, adults. Learning doesn't stop when you turn 18 or graduate high school. People still struggle as adults. I work with English language learners. I've had students from all over the world. I work with special needs learners. I've worked with people who are both English language learners and special needs learners. I do that. I do writing. So again, college essay writing is a big inquiry I have. And one niche I have is helping people with state licensing exams. So people who want to be EMTs, fire, police, plumbers, you know, computer technicians. I have somebody right now for cosmetology. I've had several of those clients. They need help with the anatomy and physiology and science part of it. Real estate. I'm helping somebody with real estate right now as well.
Oh, so, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. You know, I never even thought of that you could help with exams, because that is true. I mean, they know certain things for the exam, but then the basic knowledge you have to help them with. And how do you help people with language? That must be pretty hard for non-English speaking people. You know, do you have any languages other than English?
Nope.
No? Wow.
I know a few words in Spanish. I learn a word here or there if I need to. But again, basically, I know it's very bottom up to starting at the bottom, working your way up.
Right.
Bottom up to top process. And again, working with background knowledge. What background knowledge do they have? Everybody's different. It depends on their first language, the school system. It's a variety of things. Some people are very confident in speaking. Some people are not. It just depends on the person. So I work with them one-on-one to kind of figure out where they need help, and we go from there.
Wow. So how are you focusing these days with the challenge of the pandemic? Are you still finding that people are coming to you and needing, and they must be needing a lot of information these days, I would think, you know, for exams and that kind of knowledge?
Yep, people are still coming to me. It was a challenge in the beginning, shifting to Zoom. The good part is now, again, I can help anybody anywhere.
Oh, wow.
I don't have to get in my car and drive, which
Yeah.
some days I miss, but it's been nice because usually, again, if somebody says, well, I can only meet you on X day, and if I have, 2 other clients, I can squeeze them in or put them in afterwards. I don't have to worry about driving around all day. So now I can take clients anywhere, out of state, international, doesn't matter.
Hmm. So you're getting very international now that you're on Zoom. Angela, you'd like to talk about you're finding a lot of people need to own their value, and you help them with that?
Correct. So one thing I do is I help other small business owners, but it's kind of the same thing as helping my clients when it comes to owning value. One thing I've heard a lot over the years from my clients, oh, I don't know this. Oh, I'm not smart. Oh, I can't do this. And I always tell people, you know a lot more and you have a lot more experience than you give yourself credit for. A lot of people come to me, again, I'm going to use the testing as an example. They're brilliant in whatever their chosen profession is. So for example, my cosmetologists, they're great. They do wonderful work on somebody's hair. They can mix everything. They know how to style somebody's hair. They're awesome. But then when it comes to the written part, they're like, I don't know anything. Right. I never learned this in school, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, stop. Again, a lot of it is negative self-talk. So I try to stop them from negative self-talking and say, okay, tell me what you know. And then once we get talking, they're usually like, oh, I didn't realize that, or, oh, yeah, I do know that, or, oh, I have that, I have heard that, but I just don't know how to apply it.
Wow.
So, and then, again, when I talk with other small business owners, it's the same thing. And I was even having this discussion a couple of times this week. Again, dealing with people who don't want to pay you what you're asking, or I had one person, and she has been very gracious to me. She has given me several referrals. She told me she couldn't afford me, so she hired a college student for free. And I said, again, I'm willing to work with you as far as payment, but I'm not willing to work for nothing.
Right.
So you have to stand up for yourself and say, look, this has been my experience. This is how many years I have cumulative. Again, if you're paying me for my background knowledge, you're paying me for my services, you're paying me for my expertise. So again, basically you're paying for what I'm bringing to the table.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was finding, Angela, that a lot of because of the pandemic, a lot of them haven't gone on to the internet, a lot of the small businesses, and there's a need out there. Have anyone reached out to you to help them with content for the internet and that kind of thing? Or they're basically looking at proposals and other kinds of work from you, or?
I haven't really had that. I've had a lot of people reach out, like, how do you handle Zoom, Zoom etiquette, dealing with clients. Big thing is, again, I work with a lot of tough customers and a lot of people who, again, are on the lower socioeconomic rung, so to speak.
Right.
And so again, they may not have, they have Zoom and they have internet capabilities, but they don't have, again, secure internet connection. They don't have this, they can't get on the internet, blah, 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 blah. Or, so again, it's just being willing to work and adjust to, again, what they do have. I've taken a lot of Dramamine the last few months because they're on FaceTime with me, the phone's jiggling and I'm like, but again, either they can't figure it out, they don't have the capabilities to take a picture, and I say, okay, send it to me. So again, I just have to work with where they're coming from.
Wow.
And some people don't want that flexibility. They want the best of everything. And I'm like, you just have to work with people where they're at. Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah. Sounds like you have a lot of experience in training on how to do so.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's great. Cause you've already mentioned about how, you should own your value and basically you're telling them, not to sell themselves short. You had another subtopic here of making a list of everything you do today. Would you recommend that for everyone or for your clients? What would you recommend, Angela? How has that helped you in your business?
just having it written down somewhere so
Mm-hmm.
you don't forget it. There's the Chinese proverb of the faintest ink is stronger than the strongest memory.
Wow. I like that
So
one.
again, again, everybody has to be willing and open to accept and receive it. I've told people, you know, I literally had to walk people through how to put me in their schedule on the phone.
Oh, wow.
You know, reminders, you know, put it on your phone if, again, you're using your phone for everything. You know, as far as study time, you know, set it on the phone every day at a particular time that works for you.
Great.
Again,
Yeah.
little things like that. Some people don't like paper and pen. Again, a lot of people I work with have had really bad educational experiences, and that's not knocking anybody or any
Mm-hmm.
educator. It's just, again, one client right now, she was pushed through. She never had chemistry in high school, and now she's, again, trying to get her cosmetology license, and she's like, I never
Oh.
did that in school. I never did that in school. And I'm like, I can't say to her, please pick up a pen and write it down somewhere. I just
Mm-hmm.
have to work with where she is at.
Mm.
It's the phone, it's the phone.
Mm. Wow, no, I didn't realize. Yeah, you're really quite experienced in working with people that way. You should put it on your resume. Sorry. Angela, no, I know a lot of people who have trouble with Zoom, so that's great that you help them out, because to be patient is very hard now. It's a really hard skill to be patient, so that's great.
Thank
You're
you.
so patient with your people. So you're mentioning that you're working on a calendar, Angela, and you even have a sample copy for us. So maybe we could put that up and have a look. I'll bring the camera back to you when you're ready. Are you ready?
Yep.
You found it? Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So,
great.
again, one thing with marketing and advertising, everybody always talks about ROI, return on investment, what works best, and every business is different. Some businesses are good with the tchotchkes, the little, little stuff.
Right.
Me, I'm kind of like, well, I could give that out, but, and I noticed that too with the business cards. I give somebody a business card, they'd stick it in their purse or pocket or wherever, and 6 months later I'd see them, they pull it out, like, I have to have your business card. I'm like, okay, that's not quite where I want my business cards to end up, but all right. So one thing I started doing a couple of years ago, I got this idea, again, from a website. I said, let me do calendars because it's something that's in front of everybody the entire year. Yep. And there's a website I found, like word of the day or something, one word. So the word I picked, and last year was the first time I did this. I did a sample calendar the year before that, handed it out to a couple people. I was like, hey, just take a look, curious. So the word for 2020 was persistence.
No, good.
And I actually got that from.
It was a good word for 2020.
Yes, definitely. Calvin Coolidge, the president of the United States, he wrote, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, press on, has solved and will always solve the problems of the human race.
For sure.
So I put this quote in the calendar for 2020, and I chose for 2021 the word fortitude. And again, this is my sample right here.
Oh.
I have to get it printed.
Right.
And again, one thing I've learned over the years working with people, again, everybody, going back to paper and pen, everybody has their different styles. Some people write, some people draw, some people doodle, whatever. So I said, instead of doing lines, because people are usually intimidated by lines, you know, it hems them in, they don't like it. So I chose word of the year. I have some quotes here, goals and habits for the month. So again, you can fill in just however you want. Wishes for the month. And then your accomplishments.
Oh, great.
So
that sounds great.
Yeah. And people are like, oh, do color, do pictures. And again, a lot of people are distracted by pictures and color. So I said, you know what, simple black and white, nothing fancy. So again, it's easier for a lot of people to read. And then again, just It'll look like this when it's done. Ta-da.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you put it at the top part. That's the top part of the calendar. Gotcha now. Yeah.
Part of the calendar.
Cool. Oh, and of course you've got your name on there, I assume.
Right at the top.
Right at the top. That's good. Yeah, I get boring ones from realtors, so I think yours would be a lot more useful. That's great.
That's what I did. And I picked a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, Helen Keller, and William Faulkner, who spoke about fortitude.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. Huh? Okay, well, that's great, Angela. Let me just flash that offer up so that people can actually write down the name of your website. There we go. So there's your website, Your Mind in Bloom. Tell me a little bit about your name for your website, Angela, while we look at this, because that's a very interesting website name.
Okay. So again, 10 years ago when I said I need an LLC, again, it's not about me, it's about you. And helping people. So I said I wanted something to reflect that. And again, since I do work with people who are struggling and again, academic focused and language focused, I said I need something that has to do with mind. And so again, it's about you. So again, I was batting ideas off my husband at the time, you know, because again, a lot of people, when I was still independent contractor, it was Angela Capinera this, Angela Capinera that. I'm like, it's not about me. I wanted to make that clear. So we were batting some ideas around, and he said, "Oh, what about Your Mind in Bloom?"
Yeah, it's a wonderful one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, it's all about mindset, isn't it? And evolving.
Yep, it is.
And you've been doing this for quite a long time. You said 10 years?
Yep,
wow.
I'll have my LLC 10 years this month.
Wow. Wow.
That's a learning process in its own.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, just the way the internet has changed and fallen this year. Well, the good thing this year is that everybody now knows how to use Zoom. That's my good thing for this year. And we can get through this, so that's great. So Angela, this is great. Have you got any final thoughts? Otherwise, we'll wrap up and put your offer up there and see.
I just always tell people, carpe diem, seize the day.
Oh, wow.
Don't give up. It's all about persistence, determination, grit, knowing your worth, not being afraid to get out there and say yes. I find a lot of people, you know, they're like, oh, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done this. And I say, well, all you got to do is say yes or ask a question.
Yeah.
I know there have been times people are like, oh God, it's you again, you know, kind of thing. But again, it's saying I'm interested. If you're interested in something, say I'm interested. I mean, the worst somebody's going to say is no, at least you tried. And again, when it comes to, again, whether it's academics or whatever, I'm working with somebody. And again, even with the job search right now, I'm dealing with a lot of people who are very frustrated. Well, I sent out 30 resumes and I haven't heard back. And I'm like, you have to get out there and network. Okay, because companies right now, they are hiring, but they're probably getting a bazillion resumes for one position. And it's just, again, not being afraid to pick up the phone and say, okay, I need to talk to somebody, or I need to make that connection, or go on LinkedIn and say, okay, do I know anybody, or do I have any connections? Not being afraid to reach out. Again, it all comes down to just finding that power within. I think sometimes as a society, we're kind of told just to sit there and be quiet, especially women. And I've had to say to several of my clients, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to get out there and sell yourself. And I don't mean in a negative way, because some people take it that way. But I said, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know about you. Nobody's going to know you're around. Nobody's going to know your talents if you don't let people know about yourself. And even when I'm interviewing people with resumes, they'll be like, I've had people, well, this is all you need to know. But then when I sit down and talk with them, you just find some very fascinating people out there who've done some very fascinating things. And I was like, if you don't put that out there, nobody's going to know.
That's awesome. Awesome. As usual, you've blown me away, Angela. Because finding a job is the hardest thing. I know. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, and it is a good place to connect and network. So, I'm gonna connect with you for one. I don't think I have yet. So, thanks a lot, Angela.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I really appreciate this. Has been very, very useful and for everyone, I think. And let me just come back to you and say thank you very much, Angela.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This has been great.
Great. Thank you, Angela. Contact Angela at yourmindandbloom@yahoo.com for your 2021 calendar theme, Fortitude.